Get everything you need for your holiday meal at Whole Foods Market. Right now, you'll find animal welfare certified rib roast on sale. It's a deliciously crowd-pleasing centerpiece. Plus, save on spiral sliced ham, bone-in lamb, and seasonal produce like sweet potatoes and Honeycrisp apples. For ready-to-eat sides, head to the prepared food section. Done. And remember that Whole Foods Market caters. Order gourmet catering at shop.wfm.com. Bring the holiday magic with Whole Foods Market.
Vegas is a food city, so much that I can feel a little in the weeds when I'm picking out a spot for dinner. Luckily, today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm with Gemini Stevens of the Food and Loathing Pod and John Curtas of EatingLV.com and the podcast Eat, Talk, Repeat. These two have eaten everywhere in the Valley this last year, and they're going to drop their picks for best new restaurants of 2023. It's Thursday, December 21st. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Gemini, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back.
And John, a delight to have you as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's just get into it. We're at the end of the year, and looking back, what is your top pick for the best new restaurant in Vegas? I'll be generous, and I'll allow you 2 picks if you can't choose.
Of course,
Gemini.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 is hard.
It's hard.
I mean, shameless plug alert, Sarah. I wrote a best new restaurants thing about a month ago, and I had about 8 or 9 places. So I'll flip it to Gemini. But boy, there was a lot of action on our food scene this year.
Oh my gosh,
and a lot of great new places.
So
give me
many
one, Gemini.
places.
What is your heart saying right now?
I'm such a neighborhood girl. I live on the West Side. I love running around and seeing, what is available out here. So many people talk about downtown and the Strip and things like that. And the West Side has so many good things. So I have to mention Chef Roy Elamar's Fine Company inside the outdoor mall downtown Summerlin. It is small, it's cozy. The food is warm and welcoming. I mean, you get something like Mama's banana bread when you first walk in. It's an Asian fusion, like with his Hawaiian roots and things like that.
Oh.
It's amazing. I can't gush about his food enough. He did some pop-ups at Vegas Test Kitchen when that was still open, called Pigeon, Pidgin, and he just brings all of it to the table with Fine Company. And yeah, I would eat there every day.
All right, Fine and Company. It is versatile. It is...
I think it's just Fine Company.
Fine Company, excuse me.
Fine Company by Roy Elamar, and
Yep.
I can't endorse that anymore. I mean, that's a great pick, but I'm going to shift gears. Again, you asked me my top restaurants of 2023, and I can run off 8 or 9 right now. But two that have stood out off the Strip. Let's talk about off the Strip. Naxos Taverna.
Oh yes,
is the new Greek place out at Red Rock, which is just fabulous. It's a great seafood restaurant. It has great vegetarian food. It does a lamb shank to beat the band. It blew me away. My second one, and again, I'm naming 2, but I could name like 5 more, is Basilico. It's an Italian place in the Southwest. The Southwest
Francesco.
I mean, the Southwest is hotter than a chili pepper right now. And Basilico with Francesco Di Caudo is sort of a modern Italian restaurant. But between us girls, I'm bored silly with Italian food, the same old Italian food. But boy, Francesco Di Caudo really puts a little modern spin on Basilico. And so that's a Greek and an Italian that are certainly at 2 of my top 6 or 7 good restaurants for the 2023.
John, I have to ask you, what is your favorite dish at Naxos?
Well, I would say the braised lamb shank
Mm.
just knocked me over.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, but I like the mez. I love his pita bread there. I mean,
Hmm.
he really does baba ganoush and things like that really
Oh,
well. I recall some shrimp, a whole roasted fish. I mean, there's a lot to love about Naxos. What do you
Oh,
like?
oh my God. So there was this shrimp dish right when they first opened. It was crispy. I don't even, it had a name and now it's escaping me, but it was this crispy shrimp. There was this like trio of things that came with it. I think baba ganoush was one of them. And I judge Greek places on their baba ganoush
With their
because
mez, yeah, their mez,
oh,
as you should.
I'm already feeling torn because I am actually doing a staycation for my birthday next month at Red Rock, and thinking I'm going to Lotus of Siam because I've never been, and they've
which is
got their new.
fantastic.
It's fantastic, but now I'm like, oh, well, maybe there's enough time for at least
Here's
two
the thing, they're
meals.
right next door to each other. There's no reason you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
enjoy both.
you can have an appetizer at one and a main
Just
course at the other.
just go
Okay.
back and
Yeah,
forth between courses. They won't even know. They
absolutely.
won't even know what's happening.
Absolutely.
All
That's
right,
right.
Gemini, do you have a second pick?
Well, he got me on Basilico for sure.
Mm,
Um, you know, I this is a tough one for me. At first, I admit, well, I've got a tie for my second, if I can.
okay.
Both
I'll give you a
for
bonus.
both for breakfast. When 1228 Main first started, I had some reservations, but I just kept going back and I fell in love with it. I really do enjoy the food very much. Their rolled omelet is absolutely perfect and custardy, and I just have not had a better one in town. But because it's a breakfast thing that I'm comparing here, Winnie and Ethel's gets a lot of credit here. They won the
Mm,
diner contest last year with
brand new opening, right?
yes,
Just last month?
yes. Yeah, and they just opened for dinner at the beginning of this month, so they're really kind of rolling everything out. Their boozy milkshakes go with breakfast really well. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right out there.
Better than a Bloody Mary, in my
Yeah.
Well,
opinion, right?
they had a mole boozy shake on the menu when I went
Whoa.
in to try it for the first time, and I am a mole fan. And I said, okay, well, I have to try this. And it had all those beautiful bits of mole that you love with the different warming spices and that touch of
Yeah.
chili. And it was that deeper sort of Mexican chocolate. And it had a nuttiness to it. And you don't even realize the booze is there. That's the dangerous part.
All right, let's go back to 1228 Main for a second there. Because first of
Yeah.
all, I love that we're doing breakfast because I'm very much like a breakfast gal
Mhm.
or like breakfast for mid-afternoon power up.
Absolutely.
John, do you have thoughts on 1228 Main?
Do I have thoughts about 1228, man? I mean,
Yeah.
people have accused me of owning stock in the place. Okay, I talk about it so much. I mean, I kid you not. In the first month, I bet I was there 10 times. Okay, and I live sort of just out of downtown, so it's fairly convenient. It's a go-to coffee thing. It's the incredible pastries.
Mm,
At the desert, I also write for Desert Companion magazine,
hmm
and we named Sebastian Polycarp the pastry chef of the year, and he's there every morning. I think he gets about 3 hours of sleep a day. You
Oh,
go there at 7.
wow.
He is rolling out pastries, croissant.
By hand.
I mean, these just beautiful, Danish pastries, croissant, baked breads. I mean, it's a pastry shop and a
Yeah.
boulangerie, as the French would say,
Hmm.
as well as a full service restaurant.
Huh.
And downtown's never seen anything like this.
The flake on the pastries, the
the
croissant.
flake on those pastries is criminal. It's so good.
Okay, but like, what about the cost? Like, I think part of the controversy is some people feel it's too stripped, that it's like a little too pricey for downtown.
Well, let me weigh in here because I'm the resident food snob, elitist food
Let's
snob
hear
in
it.
Las Vegas for 30 years now.
You're our favorite curmudgeon,
Yeah,
John.
it's time to get over. It's Las Vegas has got to get over this. We want everything to be cheap and dirty. Okay, I mean, and then, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there are these old time diners people go to, and where like Gemini talks about the rolled French omelet. Yeah, it's not cheap. I think it's $18 or something like that. You can get an $11 omelet in town, but you're
Yeah, and
not
it's
going to
going to be
get
brown.
anything. It's going to be brown and chewy and
What about
gross.
my
Okay.
49-cent buffet breakfast, John?
Oh.
Exactly. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. So, but there is a technique. There is like almost a military precision French technique at
Mm-hmm.
work at 1228 in both the savories and the sweets that downtown Las Vegas has never seen. I mean, you can get it at places like Bouchon on the Strip. And I mean, it's been around a while, but it's a
Yeah.
real revolutionary restaurant. And yeah, you're going to pay about 30 or 40% more than people are used to, but the quality is there, and you've got world-class chefs putting out a really high-level product. I really think 1228, as much as James Trees changed the game with Esther's Kitchen
Oh,
like four
Yeah.
yeah.
years ago downtown, 1228 has now bumped it into into a different level as well.
And you don't have to go to the Strip for that level of food.
Exactly.
You've probably noticed that CityCast ads don't sound like other podcast ads, and that's because we're not just reciting national ad scripts, we're using our own words to talk about local businesses we know and care about, like the one we did about the List.Vegas or the one about the Vegas Unstripped Food Festival. Sometimes CityCast ads are hilarious, they're frequently passionate, they're always heartfelt. That's the thing about doing ads for businesses that are part of the city you care about, and one reason we just won Adweek's Podcast Innovator of the Year award. Get your business or product in front of people who care about this city as much as we do. Consider placing an ad with CityCast, the Podcast Innovators of the Year. And it's not just our city, by the way. CityCast has dedicated local teams in Boise, Chicago, Denver, DC, Houston, Madison, Philly, Pittsburgh, Portland, and Salt Lake, and soon Austin and Nashville. Place an ad today in the cities that matter to your company. Reach out at ads@citycast.fm. That's ads@citycast.fm.
Get everything you need for your holiday meal at Whole Foods Market. Right now, you'll find animal welfare certified rib roast on sale. It's a deliciously crowd-pleasing centerpiece. Plus, save on spiral sliced ham, bone-in lamb, and seasonal produce like sweet potatoes and Honeycrisp apples. For ready-to-eat sides, head to the prepared food section. Done. And remember that Whole Foods Market caters. Order gourmet catering at shop.wfm.com. Bring the holiday magic with Whole Foods Market.
May I take the conversation way away, like 12 miles, 15 miles away from this
I
right now?
hope you're going where I think you're going, because I have to tell you, I am in Hendertucky proper.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I send you some flowers or something?
And
Okay.
because you brought up Desert Companion, I thought that one of their best new restaurant picks was super, super interesting. It's a restaurant right here on Water Street. Isn't that correct?
Azzurra Cucina. Azzurra Cucina.
Yes.
Well, it was our restaurant of the year.
Yeah.
And for good
Oh.
reason. And again, like to sound a little jaded, not another Italian,
But it's not the same Italian. It's
not the same
your
Italian.
cookie cutter Italian. It's not, oh, I went to Vegas and there was this great Italian place. It's Azzurra Cucina. Like it's its own
Yeah.
animal, and it's beautifully done.
What makes it so good?
It's beautifully done. It's a jewel box of a little restaurant. It's at the far end of Water Street, and it's been packed since day one.
Yeah.
And I think what people like Gemini and I'll give props to my buddy Al Mancini that she works with, and some of us older school writers. We're looking for game changers, people that are moving the needle somehow, not just somebody who's opening the same old here. And you look at Azzurra Cucina and go, that could be a big needle mover for the food scene in Henderson.
Water Street right now, I think, is a really great drinking neighborhood. There's great breweries. There's a great old school dive bar, but there's not a lot of food outside pub food. So I love to see that shift. Do either of you have like a favorite dish on their menu?
Anything with the gnocchi or the fresh pastas. I mean, because not everything in Italian is pasta,
Mm.
believe it or not. And not so much that for you guys, but for people listening, they just automatically assume you go to an Italian place, it's a plate of pasta. I actually very often order other dishes, just because I find a lot of that stuff very heavy. But theirs is not. There's something really beautifully light about it.
Hmm.
The way they do their gnocchi dumplings. I would love to steal the recipe. And I like that the sauces aren't really heavy. You get the butter and the cream in the appropriate amounts. And, that they're not, there's this one place, I'll leave it unnamed. They do this all over their social media where they cover like pizzas with pasta and this
No,
really,
no, no, don't get Gemini. Those
ugh,
places nauseate me,
I
and and
know,
and and, and,
but
and I'm sorry. I sound like an old guy, which I am.
no, no,
But
no,
it's
no,
like
I'm agreeing with you.
It's just all for
I
show, right?
It's all for show. And that's what I like about this is that it's not for show, but it's absolutely beautifully done. It's light, but really flavorful. There's depth of character there. And it is different Italian, and that's what makes it stand out.
Okay, so I pulled you away from the journey you were taking us on. Let's go 12 miles in the other direction. Where are we
okay.
headed, John?
Well, in the other direction, I always like to talk about Spring Mountain Road. I think I've been
Yes.
the biggest thumper of the drum for our Asian food scene since 1995,
Yes.
and Spring Mountain Road never ceases to amaze me and just make my palate, basically come alive. And up and down there's some good places. One, Lamoon, is a place which was an offshoot of Lamai down at
Hmm.
the far end of Spring Mountain. Opened. It's sort of modern Thai with a great wine list. By the way, there's
Mm.
sort of people are going to be hearing this. I think Lamai is about to start changing hands. I think they've sold Lamai,
Oh.
but Lamoon is run by Bon Acharawan, and it was one of my favorite Thai restaurants of the year. Secondly, not so Asian, but right in the middle of Chinatown is Double Zero Pie and
Yes.
Pub.
You said
Yeah.
Gemini on the feed here. She just did 2 zeros with her hands. You
Oh
two are
yeah, she's like,
simpatico on this.
I haven't met anyone who's not crazy about it.
It is just really beautifully done. It's Neapolitan style. It's a thinner crust, except for that really bubbly edge that I love so much with the air pockets and
And great appetizers too. The appetizers
great
will knock you out.
appetizers. They do weekly specials like with agrodolces and with pickles,
Mm.
and they're always trying to add something new. They bring in different chefs and bartenders and come up together with menus. So not only is the regular menu always something different depending on seasonality or something they're working on, but they bring in other parts of the community to work with them and put on these beautiful displays of food and hospitality, and it cannot be missed.
Can we jump to the strip now?
That was my next question because, sometimes I have to meet a friend on the strip. They're in town for a conference. Maybe they've got the company credit card. So,
Yes.
where
Yes.
should we go?
I said one place. I went there 3 times in the first week it opened.
Mm-hmm.
You would think I would not be excited about a steakhouse because steakhouses are such a yawn, most of them. But Peter Luger blew my socks off.
Really? So you're
Yes,
talking my language. I'm from the East, and I spent a
yeah.
long time in New York.
It's a big place. I mean, and it's not an adventuresome menu. It's kind of the same thing they've been doing in New York since
Yeah.
1950. But
Dry aged steaks.
and the
good
dry
sides.
aging room. Gemini, have you seen the dry aging room
I've seen
downstairs
the
yet?
dry aging room, and I
It's
have
impressive.
dreams about this.
Yeah, if you're a
Yeah,
carnivore, it
no, very
doesn't get
much.
any better. So yeah, and I was all prepared to be bored, silly ago, but the quality of the steaks is
Mm.
right there, and it's just a fun time. And a lot of people have moved there from other restaurants, so it's like old home week when you walk in because they have
Oh,
people
how
from
fun.
Rosa Ristorante. David Ocias is the general manager. They have the chef from Wally's is over there now, and the wine guys Paul Argier used to be at Esther's Kitchen. So you walk
Yep.
in, and it's just like an amalgamation of Las
Oh.
Vegas restaurant pros that all went to Peter Luger because, let's face it, that's going to be where the money is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they put out a beautiful product at a really a really top drawer steakhouse that was worth a special trip.
Oh, how exciting. Gemini, your thoughts for the Strip and a company credit card?
Oh my gosh. Oh
Have
gosh.
you been to Fontainebleau yet?
No.
Fontainebleau?
I was
We
gonna
just
go
did an
Wednesday.
episode
and-
about it.
Yeah.
Gemini, you're slacking. I've been to 4 restaurants there now.
Have you
Come
been to Mother
on.
Wolf yet? That's the one everyone's talking about. Another
Mother
Italian
Wolf
place.
is worth. Mother Wolf is number 1.
Roman
Yep.
Italian, right?
Q is great.
Mm.
And Don's Prime, which is nice, but I don't think it's a beautiful restaurant with some innovative stuff. But in terms of just meat quality, I think Peter Luger beats it.
It was better.
Yeah.
So here it's about to happen. We're going to tie this up in a beautiful bow. What was 2023 for restaurants in Las Vegas? If you had to use one word to describe it, 2023 was the year of
Creativity.
creativity.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Gemini.
I just think that more people stepped out of the stereotypical boxes of what people were expecting when you said you're going to open a steak place or you're going to open an Italian place or you're going to open a Greek place. They really went out because Let's Vegas.
Let's Vegas, you guys.
Let's face it. Vegas is also such a show city. And when people come here and they're going to these places and they're throwing down the company credit card, they don't just want to eat. They want to be entertained. They want to be wowed. And part of wowing all of us has been the idea of creativity, community spaces, and just giving somebody something that they're not going to get anywhere else. Even if that place has another outlet in another city, Vegas is still unique.
I would say it's the year of neighborhood expansion.
Yes.
Everything. Neighborhoods are getting bigger and better, a la downtown Spring Mountain Road. And then we have this incredible expansion, delicious options hitting the southwest end of town, which is going to turn that into a foodie mecca. So to me, it's all about neighborhood expansion. Sad to say, but the end of the dumbbells on the two end of all this are Hendertucky and Summerlin, okay? Which are like, for opposite reasons, they both have absolutely crappy food scenes. But everything in between them seems to be filling in with just more and more delicious options all the time.
Well, next time you're in Henderson, you come over here. I'll cook for you. How about that?
I insist upon it. I'll bring the wine.
Amazing. Happy holidays to both of you. I hope you eat some amazing meals in our waning days of 2023. And I'm looking forward to meeting you out for dinner somewhere in 2024.
Absolutely.
Bon appetit all.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Both of our contributors today have socials and blogs, which we'll put in the show notes, as well as links to their podcasts. Click it and check them out. And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed this show, why not tell a friend? Send them this episode. Take them to dinner. You'll have a good time. Rate our show, please. Leave us a review and subscribe both to the podcast and to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. Yeah. Let's extend the monorail there.
Exactly. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
A monorail up and down Spring Mountain. Yes.
Love
please.
it. Love it.
Yes, a great idea. Let's get Figler on that. Let's get
Let's
David
do it.
Figler
Let's
on
get
that.
Figler on it. We can do a monorail-based food crawl up and down Spring Street. We just need to get the funding. I'm sure you can make it happen.